ones. I'm going to talk about the third chakra today, and this is related to a psychic reading I did for someone here privately. A woman I've known for some years, and I thought she could be helped by a psychic reading, and I've already given her some suggestions and such, but this I thought I could make public for you all, because it's good for everyone to strengthen the third chakra. And part of me wants to dive into everything that sort of blocks me sometimes when I think about all the things I would like to talk about in videos. But this, I also work with chakra cleansing and aura cleansing and such, and chakra massage also. But yeah, so this is something I've worked with for, I don't know, let's see, 20 years or so. Still, what blocks my energy though is very much my addictions. As for now, the only addiction I tend to not really let go of is the sugar addiction, but that have been the one that I've had for the longest time, as far as I recall, and the one that is most stuck for me, actually, I think. So that is draining of energy. Still, so when it comes to this, I work with the chakras, with myself obviously as well, and also when you, for example, use magical tools, if you work with magic in one or another way, the first thing I would suggest is just to work with your own energy, to cleanse and to strengthen yourself and your own energy through meditations. For example, chakra meditations can be great. And also, since I'm an Ayurveda therapist, this is related to everything we do. We can feel the chakras as well in the pulse and so on. But I also feel them when I hold above the body and these places where the chakras are. And also, I don't need to do that. Since I'm a psychic and medium, I can just tune in to another person's chakras from afar, so, or an animal's energy or what. It's just kind of the same thing. So, but now when it comes to this, I'm just going to focus on the third chakra, to try to be a little bit focused, because it gets too much to just talk about all of this, because it's a huge science, and I have also done Kundalini yoga for many years, which is the yoga form that very much work with energy and with the Kundalini rising through the chakras, sort of the divine female energy, you can say, rises up to meet the on top, the highest chakra, like Shakti meeting Shiva, you can say, which is this blissful meditative state. Yeah, but you have to go through and awaken them all before you reach that state. And so, and why it's good to start with the solar plexus chakra is because that contains so much energy that spreads out through the other chakras if we strengthen it. So there are many reasons for it being good to start with, but that's one of them. And what is then a chakra? It's energy mainly, and an energy wheel, and relates to spiritual and psychic energy and physical energy as well. It's kind of the life force, as well as you can feel it in the aura. It's the energy of you. So, and it's often symbolized as a wheel or a lotus, or in Sweden or in northern parts of the world, it can also be symbolized by roses, actually, and so on. And it's not only these main 7 chakras or 8 that counts. There are other chakras. Yeah. But these are the main ones that people often relate to. Yeah. But when that chakra is brought to life or opened, then it releases a lot of energy. You get access to so much more of what you are really. So that's the basis. I will maybe I will obviously put up some pictures. Maybe I will take some pictures myself from some books I have or something, but otherwise I will find them on the net then. And what it's also often connected to is the solar plexus, which is then above the navel, in between the ribs, do you say? The rib cage, the opening there, sort of, and they're in between there. It's seen as the gateway to the sun sometimes, because this is also in Ayurveda related to the Pitta energy, the fire energy, very much. And fire is also in almost every tradition related to spirit or the divine. So, and its name in Sanskrit says Manipura, and that means glimmering gem or jewel city. And it have to do with will and power, and also with intense emotions like laughter, anger, joy, and so on. And it's also related to different parts of the body, and every chakra are related to different parts of the body, and also to certain glands like hormones and such. So, and this one is very much related to the digestion, the liver, the spleen, and stomach, and the small, what is it called in English now? Oh, I don't remember the name for that, but where the food passes through. Yeah, where most of the nourishments are taken up by the body. So, yeah, probably. So, and this is also a very good chakra for me to work with, since this is also related to eating disorders, and when its function isn't really great. And it can also be related to ulcers, diabetes, and low blood sugar, so many other things, but those are few. And every chakra is also related to a color, and this one is related to yellow. So to strengthen this, when I talk, I also might find some yellow pictures to put up here for you. And every chakra is also related to a sound. So using that sound in the thought or as a mantra, saying it, can also strengthen this. And this sound for this chakra is Ram. Ram. R-A-M. And it's also connected with eyesight. And it have 10 petals. For each of these they have various, those lotus flowers, as they are symbolized, have various petals. I mean, how many they have, and different colors and so on, as I said. Yeah. And it's also think that is called a ram actually, because there are also images related to these chakras that in some traditions, I guess Hindu traditions and such, they really learn to visualize these exactly detailed when working with these various chakras. So, yeah, and some goddesses and gods and such. And related to these chakra, among others, are Rudra, Lakini, Apollo, and Agni. Agni is this fire, Elisa, the digestion. And through meditation on this lotus, this chakra, we get the power to create and destroy, or maybe rather destroy and create. Destroy, but it's in our way, and then create. So here is where we meet the fire, and this chakra radiates its flaming energy like a bright sun. So that's also how it spreads these energies to the other chakras and to all of our beings. And also when you work, this is very central. So if you work with spiritual practices of any form, or it could be mundane, more mundane things actually, that would also be balancing for that. But to strengthen this first is very good, because you won't like lose touch. I mean, it can be very overwhelming sometimes to work with deep things or intense things, but this, if you strengthen this first, you will be connected to your core all the time and won't lose that and get confused in that sense. So as well as the digestion transforms food to energy, this also this chakra also contains energy and prana. Prana is life energy then, from both food and from everything in our environment, like what we take in through our eyesight and through our other senses, and our emotional energy. And every chakra have a center of prana. And prana is in everything that is alive, and where there is prana, there is life. And each of these centers of prana are distributed by these Manipura centers. So it comes from, that's the center of this prana energy. So, but then this prana can be directed into any system in the body that we want to, with help of the imagination, the power of the imagination. So, and this there is a tradition, esoteric tradition, that comes from the tantric tradition, that is called prana vidya. And when you start, that's when you practical. Sorry for stuttering my way through this, but this is study of the life force, practical study of the life force. Yeah, so you then get taught techniques how to pull together and expand and locate prana. And if this prana is disturbed in any way, then that's the root to diseases. And you can also move prana from one person to another, for example, when you do healing. And you can see prana, like bright flashes of white light coming out of the hands. Some people can anyways. And when you transmit this, this is very common. I mean, I have never actually done healing for anyone, at least not when they are in the room and I have my hands on them or close to them. They always feel the temperature changes, and that's very typical for transmitting prana. So you feel different temperature when you build this prana and also release it. So both you who send the prana and or channel the prana, you can say, and the one who receives it. And in Ayurveda, we work with both with the three doshas, prana, or not prana, but vata, which is all of these prana are those sub-doshas, you can say, contained in prana. No, in vata, I mean, I'm saying the wrong word. So vata, pitta and kapha are the doshas, but when it comes to vata, they have fine forms, or this prana, or winds, you can say, in the body that is called udana, samana, vayana, apana, and prana. And udana regulates the... maybe I shouldn't go into this so much, but this is connected to this, so I will mention it. Regulates the area above the throat and the forelimbs, and it controls the energy flow that goes upwards in the body. And samana regulates the area around the navel and digestion. And vayana moves through all of the body. It's the circulation, among other things. And apana regulates the area beneath the navel. And prana, which is then very much related to the solar plexus, which is just above the navel, but it still regulates the area between the throat and the diaphragm. And it's very involved when it comes to breathing and speaking as such. And so when you work with prana, you have to learn how to discern between these 5 different prana forms, and it's very important to practice to consciously bring prana and apana together in this solar plexus, which helps to awaken it, meaning this prana, the vata, or now I speak for you, this is strange words, I guess, for many of you, but you pull down energy from above and up energy from below towards the solar plexus center to awaken it. And these two energies brings a very strong power when they meet there, the solar plexus. So to work with these energies is great if you need to strengthen your solar plexus. And prana is universal for everything that is alive. and we can absorb it from food and from the air and that we breathe, and from the landscapes, nature. So it's very important to eat things that are not so polluted and so on, because it's not only the nourishment in the food we need, but we also need the prana, the life force of the food. So it's important where it comes from, and also in Ayurveda important how it is made. What your state of mind is when you prepare the food also have an effect on the prana in the food, so the energy of the food. And this, I guess some of you have heard about living food. I don't eat that all the time, but sometimes I think about it sometimes. And that's food that is still alive and still growing, and this still contains prana since it's still alive, and it contains more prana the quicker you can eat it, so to speak. If you pick something directly from the where it grows, it have more prana than if it's packed, and if you wait longer time, that the prana get lost. And also if you microwave things, it kills all the prana. So if you have problems with the solar plexus chakra, or feel weakness there, or if you want to strengthen it, you should not microwave anything, not water or any food, really. So there are very it's a great variation on how much prana food contains, and we can, I guess all of us can have a sense, some of us can see it, but how much life force something vibrates with or shines with. So and we don't have to live by living food then, as it's called, this special form of eating, but we can add more of that to it, or things that are higher in prana then. So, and this center also have a great meaning when it comes to the traditional Japanese teachings, where it's called hara, which actually means stomach, and that's the center point where everything, both what you can see and not see, have its balance. So and now I won't go into that exactly, because it varies a little bit where exactly you think this center is located, but it have to do very much with be able to experience and express feelings. So when we push those away, we can also get some dissonance between what we really feel and how we act. So when it works well, then we are very congruent when it comes to how we express ourselves in words, in actions, and in body language and such. And in Japan, for example, person that seem not trustworthy or like dishonest if the voice doesn't come from Hara. Actually, they then locate it a little bit below the navel, but anyways, like three. If you hold three fingers sideways from the navel, that's like where you can kind of feel that chakra also, but that is in its essence very much as the solar plexus, but that's more around where the sacral chakra is in many traditions. So and there are ways of singing that can also strengthen this chakra, but I won't go into that too much. But you can also get more conscious about this chakra by breathing through Hara. You focus your consciousness on this center while you create a rhythm with your breath and place your hands on this center. And it can also help to just lightly keep your tongue up, just in the back of the teeth, front teeth, because this brings together the head's meridians and the meridians from the lower regions. Now, what do you say? Oh gosh, I mean, remember words from the genitals, those meridians, so it make the prana flow much easier. So yeah, so you just focus your consciousness on this center, this Hara or solar plexus. Since Hara is then relates to a little bit deeper down in the body, that is a little bit more stabilizing. So when you do breathing exercise, that can be good actually to bring the attention a little bit lower down. And while you breathe in deeply, you count to 5 and you visualize this shining light that flows in with the air, and then you hold your breath and count to 5 at the same time as you feel this energy gathers, if you say, in this center. And this is like Qigong or Qigong. That's what they do very much also in that tradition. And then you breathe out when you count to 5, and try to do this without any breaks. And you can sit up straight, or you can lay down, and try to do it for about 20 minutes, and you will start to feel a strong warmth and personal energy from that. And there is also in Tibet, they have developed a very advanced technique to get your body warm, and that is called Tummo. And prana is then drawn from these reservoirs, and to create warmth in the body, because we have a lot of reserved energy in these parts. And there you then use various meditation and very complex visualizations and body postures and breathing control. So the practitioner in their mind build up a form of a lotus that is golden, and then use the bija mantra to summon the element of fire. And this fire element then draws from the top of the head down to this navel center. And for their inner eye, they also see then Sushumna, which is the central channel, the nadi. There are various nadis in the body, meaning channels actually, where prana or energy can flow through, and they can be also clogged up or open and so on. But so then they see for their inner eyes that this Sushumna, the middle one, that goes through the body, like as the spine, sort of how that gets wider until it embraces the physical form. So it actually becomes a channel of fire, and then they are tested by this teacher after they have practiced this for a long time and learned how to do that. So then they can create this warmth. This is really out of the things that I would talk about, but some have seen this, traveled there and studied, described this tomo in how it was they were practically doing it. And those newly initiated, they sit naked with their legs crossed, and pieces of cloth are dipped into ice cold water. This is like an ice bucket challenge in another way. No, but then you they what do you say now? They wrap these around each part of the body, and the one who's getting or her newly initiated need to dry it on their body, and as soon as this cloth are dried up again, they dip it into the water before it's used again, and this continues until dawn. And the one who have then dried enough, or the largest amount of cloth, then are the winner of this competition, you can say. So yeah, and there are many practices that like that are pretty tough, like there is a story about Milarepa. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he was forced to stay over winter in a frozen cave during a year, and also knew how to do this, so he survived then. But he was like in between life and death, pretty much. So, but he then realized the great power of Tumo. So but this was just one of the powers that is contained in this Manipura chakra, the solar plexus or the personal sun, you can call it. That's our power field in the world. That's our personal fuel storage. So if we don't feel like we have enough of fuel, then we lack this driving force to project ourselves out into the world, so that we get noticed and so on, and we get like a little bit victims for the circumstances or destinies when we lose this connection to our willpower, which is a direct expression of our inner being. So the will is fundamental for our well-being and our personal, to realize what we really want. Because it transforms our inner nature to an outer expression that makes it possible to overcome difficult circumstances in life. So if someone feels weak in themselves, they need to then strengthen their trust in themselves and their ability to focus on goals. So they don't move back and forth too much and are affected by others too much, but have this willpower. That means that they can express their power without thinking about what other things or thinks or how they react and so on. And it's through expressing this will that we create our own reality. Our power in the world is an expression of our will, our feelings. So many esoteric writers have seen this the human will as a divine attribute, the highest will, which gives power to create to the beings. So it's through the human will that changes, good or bad, for good or bad, can be realized in the world. Yeah. And since we have this free will, gives us then the choice and to choose, and it teaches the value to discern. And to consciously use this energy and this power of will is what strengthening the solar plexus very much is about. So, and when this is blocked, we often feel a sense of frustration that also brings tension in this area of the solar plexus. So, and when we lose our sense of power in this area, which is a fiery feeling, you can say, but that can also go to another extent when we get overly ambitious. But when we lose it, it goes more into water, which moves into depressive feeling instead. So instead of enthusiasm, that's the balanced energy here when we feel enthusiastic. But if it gets too fiery, then we get ambitious and lose the sense of joy connected to our goals and even the reason to why we strive to our goals. And also maybe we tend to more seek honor from others and what they think about us than value the joy of what we do and our own reasons from within for why we want it and so on. And when this power is too weak, it can also then more transform into water, which can make us depressed and feel low. So then our strength goes away, our fire is smothered, you say, I think. So the ideal should be this free energy flow between the personal will and our ability to project it into the world, but it's often blocked. And that can become like that because of short-lived blocks created by personal conflict, or it can be more more stuck for a longer time. But it's very much about this congruency between what our inner experience is of this, what we really want, our personal will, and our freedom of outer expression. That's when the third chakra's energy flow freely. So when this will is blocked, either at the source or so we don't know really what we feel or want, or on the expression that something from without blocks us from freely express it, then they can't move freely then, but start to create blockages. And that's like what are they called when there is lots of water flowing, and I don't just know Swedish word for this, but you know, when they stop the water, they build something to stop the water. It works like that then, this chakra. It holds back feelings, energies, needs, and desires. And that can become an inner chaos because we push away anger, and we keep our power locked up. And eventually we don't cope with that anymore, and it results in a crisis to some, in one way or another, or we break down. So this chakra is very much about feelings we may not have processed. Because when we express them freely, our emotions, then we can easily move from the situation that have created them, and we integrate them. Because when we, for some reason, don't express them in some way, then they stay there until we cleanse this chakra in some way. So some emotions, anger, such, can be locked up there for many years. And also, I think many of us know that the stomach is very sensitive for sudden changes in emotional changes. So when we feel fear or extremely nervousness, we really feel that in the stomach. And also, if we feel a sudden shock, it can feel like a punch in the stomach, and we start to feel sick. Or when we are very upset, it's hard to eat, and all these physical situations mirrors this activity of this chakra. And this chakra represents a great step in the development of the consciousness, because the lower chakras, the base and the sacral, sacral chakra, you can say, those two chakras are very instinctive in their ways. So here we start to awaken and find something above or outside of the instinct level of our being. So, and this also means that when we have awakened this center, or become aware of this, then this Kundalini energy of power cannot sink back down to the lower centers. We still need to work with this continuously to keep it open and flowing with everything that is. But when we are aware of something, we still cannot become unaware. When we have learned something and know something, we have already learned it and already know it. So, when this awakening occurs, tradition says that it gives power to locate hidden treasures. So yeah, this is about mastering fire also, you can say. Yeah, I just think about that. I know someone who is really good at this, whom I will do a reading for pretty soon, the psychic reading. Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah. What else shall I say about this? We can also see ourselves from within more, the more we strengthen this chakra. So, for example, also when it comes to circulation and so on, we can move into the inner anatomy, autonomy as well, but anatomy, and view that and see what's going on. So yeah, and we can also work from this way and send prana to this Sahasrara chakra, and which is very healing for everything. But then we need to have a great amount of control of prana to be able to do that. Yeah. So I won't go into the petals and all kinds of things, but the bija mantra, the central word for this chakra is Ram, and yeah, I won't go into more of that because it's only confusing when I move into all kinds of different colors there is here, and also the gods, but there are fire or sun gods in every tradition, and all these are related obviously to this chakra as well, so I won't talk about these gods and so on so much. Yeah. But when it's balanced, the energies in this chakra, and when they are active and balanced, then we feel good and we have a clear sense of or definition of what our personal goals are, what we are focused upon, and so on. So, and to strengthen this, then some of the things that can be done is to just contemplate how you view personal power and how you use your power in the world. That's one of the things that is very much related to this, that you may need to look at, and also to meditate on the element of fire obviously strengthens this very much. Yeah, and there are some pranayama practices that you can do also. Maybe I should put some pictures up for these. I think I will do that because, I think I will do that. And so the first one, to connect these prana streams, sit with your spine erected, straight, and breathe in deeply, and imagine that prana is absorbed through the throat and flows down to the navel. And then imagine that at the same time prana flows upward from Muladhara, the base chakra, to the navel, and visualize how these two streams come together. And this is also very much what we work with in Munai-ki, but there are also a little bit variations on how, for example, what we call the divinities we work with, but also where they are located exactly and so on. But we work very much with fire. And just now, me and a friend, Anna Karen, we started to do fire ceremony together again every day, which is good because it's easy to stray. Although we love to do these things, so those Munai-ki fire ceremonies, which is really great. And also I used one of the feathers I got from Whispering Canadian for the meditation for calling the quarters, so the those kinds of things. So, and there are also asanas here too that I probably will put up pictures on then. And so the first one here is to strengthen this chakra. Sit with your legs outstretched and your palms to the floor, straight beneath your shoulders, and then lift your body by raising your buttocks, your butt, and then build a straight line from toes to head, and then sink back to sitting and repeat that. That's very strengthening for this chakra as well. You move your stomach like that, and also to bend your back in both ways. Like you this is very good to do actually for a moment, to sit as I show in this picture on your feet a little while after you have eaten, because it's helped the digestion very much. But you don't have to move then, but just sit like that for some minutes or so. But here you can do all yoga practices is good to do when you have not eaten. So for this one, sit on your heels with the hands on your knees and bend your back backwards, and then breathe in and raise your back and push forward your breast, and then breathe out and sink back and repeat that. And you can do that for like 3 minutes maybe or so, not for too long. But that's 2 of those. And also the this one where you then, I don't have a picture here, but sit on the floor with your legs stretched out and the arms on the thighs, and bend over slowly with your upper body, and let the hands glide forward on the legs, and bend yourself as far as it's comfortable, ideally to touch your forehead to the knees. In time you will, if you practice this. That's very good for this too. Okay, now we'll end this, and then I will do another one with a little visualization that I will start soon, and some other exercises for this chakra, but I won't start now since this will end now. So I will just pause. But I hope this helped anyone who need to work with this with this chakra. Maybe I should also mention that everything related to fire then obviously is connected to this chakra. If you dream about things related to fire, often related to that. Also sunrise and things related to the sun can indicate awakening on this plane. And also, if you have heard about flower essences, Bach flower essences, there are many of those that are good. I don't know the English word for these, but aspen, avonbook, I just make up this because they are in Swedish here. Balsamine, lark tree, green navel, and morning star are some of these that are very good for this chakra. And I have used this for myself and for others, and they have been really efficient. So the first one is to overcome fears, and the second to accomplish personal goals, and third for patience, and the fourth there for trusting in yourself, and the fifth for inner balance, and the sixth of these are to act from joy, to help you to act from joy. And also music, since this chakra is very related to expressing emotions, dancing, of course, everything you do that express your emotions. So you don't always have to say it with words, but that can be good too. But if the vibration is stuck in this chakra and in your body, music then have the power to release emotions, whether it's sadness or joy or so on, that can bring a very needed cleansing experience and like a catharsis sort of. So that's very good. So, but now I'll just end then, and for anyone who wants a free personal reading, there have been no one really asked me. Yeah, well, some private ones on the sides, but not public ones. So if any of you want a free reading, tarot reading, let me know. So when I do the psychic readings, I always tune into the chakras, by the way. I never do any in-tuning at all when I read the cards, but they are still valid, and the spirits and our guides are still there to give information. So I don't need to use as much of my own energy when working with the cards, since I just work with the mind. When I do readings, I need to work with all of my chakras and take a little bit more energy. So, well, okay, we'll just send you lots of love now then, and yeah. So, and let me know if you want me to talk about something else. I thought about whispering here, but I forgot, so I will try to whisper now in the next one that I do right now. So, yeah. And please comment. I read them, and I appreciate what you write, whatever it is. And yeah, if you have questions or so, I will get back to you on them. Sometimes I write below a video also, sort of reply and such, and yeah. And at times I put up a video where I reply to something, and then I just keep it up for a while and then take it away, so maybe you missed it. So if anyone feel that I ignore them, I really don't. Maybe I would sometimes miss something, but I don't think I have so far. But please stay in touch. I like that you do. And if you want a free reading, then if you don't want me to make it public, write a comment. No, then you can write a comment below. But yeah, I won't mention for whom it is anyways then. But otherwise, write to me on Facebook, Ayurvedic Shakti. You can find that on About Me here on YouTube. So I won't add many people there, but I can reply to messages anyway. So okay, much love to you all, and talk to you soon.